Hey, it's David. So I'm sure you got your favorite personalities that you like to follow or listen to. We all do. I could name a few if you really wanted me to. But don't you find that some of the things they say are crazy? And sure, we're all human. None of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. And bottom line, it's not necessarily about mistakes or perfection. It's just we say things that others don't agree with. I probably wouldn't agree with everything you think, and you would probably wouldn't agree with everything I think. I mean, like I said before, most of what I share kind of tends to be a hot take, but it's one of those things where it could be pretty obvious to me, but not obvious to you. And is it always helpful? Well, maybe not, but I'm hoping that some of this stuff connects with you. So, again, have you encountered anything recently or in the recent past that a guru said that you're like, um, I don't know about that? Well, I got something that, excuse my French, really pissed me off. And maybe he's right. I don't know. But I'm thinking for various reasons. And I think you, as a creative or creator, would probably say the same thing. So his comment was, well, if you're not selling that many books or people talk about not selling that many copies, it's because your book sucks, plain and simple. And I'm like, gee, you know, I don't think it's that black and white. I've produced work, and to be fair, like I'm going through my archives right now because I'm preparing the book Champion of Artistic Success, and I'm pulling the best blog posts that I published between, I think, 2020 and 2022. At the time I was publishing them, I probably thought they were good, somewhere between good and brilliant. I know for a fact I wasn't always hitting the brilliant mark, but looking back on some of this stuff, I'm like, this was really not all that good, or it's not that revolutionary, or I'm talking too much about myself. There were a lot of flawed blog posts. I mean, I was just doing it, I guess, for the disciplined, because I believed that doing this would get me to somewhere in life, that would get me somewhere in my business. It opened the doors for sure, but it didn't bring all the opportunities, didn't solve all my problems, as certain gurus are prone to saying. But, that's another guru thing, I guess. Another guru thing for another time. But what we're talking about here is a book sucks if it doesn't sell. Well, I just don't think that's true, because I've bought books that absolutely sucked, but you could see from all the reviews and all the comments and everything else that the book sold like reasonably well. I don't know exactly how many books you need to sell to get one review. There's probably some kind of ratio out there that one could find, but I'm guess it's definitely not 1-to-1. I know that as an author, and especially like podcasts too. It's never 1-to-1. I don't know. Do you need like 1,000 listeners for 1 or 2 reviews? I bet it's something like that. So you would have to sell a lot of books to get comments and ratings and reviews on your book. That's just the way it is. And so I bought books that absolutely sucked. They were from known gurus, used to get lots of great stuff from them in the past. And I went and bought it, and I was like so disappointed. I just couldn't believe how awful, awful this book was. I really didn't give it a very good rating. And, to be fair, the book wasn't any good, and that's what prompted me to review it in the first place. But I know people, and I guess I'm speaking somewhat autobiographically too, but people who've consistently showed up and produced good work. Again, I can look back on some of my stuff and say that was just practice. That was just me figuring myself out, figuring out my voice, trying different things, mixing it up, growing myself. Like a lot of the journey is like that. And it wasn't all good, but I showed up, I produced good work, and sometimes hit that brilliant mark too. Not like anyone else, not all the time. I had to get up to bat many, 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 many times to get to that brilliant, or to get to those few brilliant pieces. But that's just the way it is. That's how unicorns are born. I don't know any other way of producing unicorns. If I could just create something out of thin air that was fantastic all the time, I would do it. I don't know. I don't have that magic fairy dust. And maybe some of these gurus think they do, or they do. Maybe they have that fairy dust. And if they do, I would request that you share some with me. You can mail it over right away because I need some of that. Like, if everything I produced was brilliant, yeah, that would be so cool. But that's just not been my experience whatsoever. Got to keep showing up every day, every day, every day. Next day, the next day, the next day. Sick, tired, sad, whatever, depressed, whatever. Showed up, did the work, kept doing the work. And that's how some brilliance, not all brilliant work. And to be fair, I know I don't have to publish everything either. And nor do you. You can hold on to the stuff that's no good and publish the few ideas that are brilliant. If that's what you want to do, I suppose that's a strategy in its own right. But I've seen too many people, and the comparison I think is apt in the music business, for example, that actually have really great music, but it doesn't sell. It doesn't have attention. It doesn't have much of an audience. Is that because the music sucks? The music may not be what's trending now, or it may not be exactly what the market is looking for now, but that doesn't mean it sucks. I don't think anyone is going to go back and say Marvin Gaye sucks just because today's music can't even hold a candle to what that is. I know there's some songs, there's some artists that kind of take after Marvin Gaye, don't get me wrong. But the vast majority of, let's say, pop music, top 40 music, is not even approaching the bench. It's not even coming close to what something like Marvin Gaye is. So does music suck when it doesn't fit the mold of what's popular today? And then by extension, does a book suck automatically because it doesn't fit the mold of what people want today? What if the book had powerful, timeless advice? What if it's exactly what people needed, just didn't know that they wanted? So I'm not really buying this. And don't get me wrong, I think there's always room for improvement. I think I've come a long way. I like my writing better than ever. I have a feeling that I could maybe become a little bit better for sure, but I've come a long way. I think I'm doing the best writing I've ever done. So should I just give up and say it sucks because most people aren't reading it? It sucks because most people aren't buying it? That doesn't make sense to me. I know people who create amazing work, great work, that are not recognized. If it worked like that, that would be cool. But take away that guru status, take away that audience, and you publish a book and you see how many copies you sell. Publish under a pen name, utilize none of your company's marketing budget, none of your marketing facility, and see how many copies you sell. I'd love to see it. If you're selling 1,000 copies a week, I will revoke what I said here. But otherwise, I'm standing by it. Something does not suck just because it's not selling. Now, something could certainly be ahead of its time and not recognized for the brilliance it is today. That happens frequently enough and happens even to artists from the 60s and before that. And it's also not to say that some of the stuff that doesn't sell is all good stuff. That's also not true. There's a lot of stuff that sucks that doesn't sell too. But I don't see it as a black and white issue. There's basically 4 categories. There's stuff that's great and sells. There's stuff that's great and doesn't sell. There's stuff that sucks and sells. And there's stuff that sucks and doesn't sell. To me, that's a more accurate view. That's accurate thinking. And in the music business, especially in the last 10 years or so, we've come a long way since nu metal. Let's just put it like that. But the pop music in the last 10 years or so, it sucks and still sells like crazy. We all know it's not about the music. It's about the product. And you might say, well, the product is good. I don't know. Because so many of these singers can't seem to enunciate a single word. Some of them really can't sing. There's some good dancers out there. I'll give you that. And that takes something. It takes not just talent. I really think it takes effort. It takes skill to do well. Are they often backed by good musicians or good producers? Absolutely, because the money's all there. So that's just an automatic. But then, isn't it the musicians and the producers that are great and not necessarily the artist? I guess I'm kind of opening Pandora's box by even going there, but maybe an argument could be made that modern music is a good product. It's a good product for certain people. I will absolutely give you that. But I don't think the music's any good. And if you were to say the music is the product, not the image and the branding and the music videos and the producers and the musicians and graphic designers and all that other stuff that goes with it, if you were just to say the music is the product, the music sucks, but it sells like crazy. So for me, there are 4 categories. It's great and it sells. It's great and it doesn't sell. It sucks and it sells. It sucks and it doesn't sell. All these categories do exist, but I just want to put it out there that there are people doing good work that are deserving of far more attention that aren't getting it, even though they're producing good work. Explain that one to me, please. Unlock the secrets to skyrocketing your productivity, boosting performance, and maximizing profits with my latest premium guide, the Productivity, Performance, and Profits Black Book. Tailored for independent artists and entrepreneurs, this comprehensive resource is your roadmap to turning ideas into reality. Say goodbye to abandoned projects collecting dust on your shelves or buried in your hard drives. It's time to bring your vision to life. Grab your free copy of the Productivity, Performance, and Profits Black Book now at davidandrewweeb.com/blackbook. That's WIEBE. Don't miss out on the key to unlocking your success.